wanted to show you a little peek inside COIL. We have an activity that our members have been really loving that's really, really cute. And it's a classic Montessori activity. If you hold up that box again, we'll show you what category it goes in.
Ta-da!
It is a scissor cutting activity that is a Montessori lesson. It is found inside probably the arts.
Well, you're going to find it.
Practical life.
Yes.
As well.
So cutting on a line, I think, is going to be in the arts for primary. So it's going to be like a level. Cutting a circle like this is probably a level 2 or 3. So it's a little more advanced. You can start by having the child just cut straight. But then they're going to work up to cutting into more intricate ways. And it is a classic. So it is an art. It's also under practical life because you're practicing gross motor and I guess fine motor, depending on the shape and size of the scissors. Now, if you're interested in scissors particularly, we did a pretty good video a couple of years ago. It's in our archive, all about safe scissor usage. So you might go check that out, depending on where you are, if your child, especially is in kind of the primary years.
Okay, this lesson is the Emerald Spirals lesson, I believe. That's on page 13. I'm going to go there now.
All right. Here.
Emerald Spirals. So this is what the lesson looks like. So those of you who are in our membership and you have access to the constellation themes, you'll find this here on page 13. So it says, print and cut out the spiral emerald tree boa cards. And we have those cards right here. I don't think we printed them out today, but
yeah, these are the spirals. Right, yeah, hold on, let me switch.
Yep. Are you going to switch down?
There we go. Let's show them the cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See how they're right here? So it's a picture of an emerald tree boa and also a little information card about the emerald.
Now, what's cool about the tree boa in particular, and you get to see it here, is that the emerald tree boa, when it is an adult, is emerald green. And when that emerald tree boa is itty bitty juvenile baby, it is like orange red.
Yes, it's totally different color.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So so for this kind of lesson, this is kind of this is an example of the thematic learning, right? So the heart of the lesson is we're going to make some little snakes by cutting on the line. Mr. Bunny was no longer afraid of that. But we're going to start by talking about real snakes. We're going to give
you talk about that, I'm just going to start cutting. So.
Yeah, so you're going to start by giving a real lesson on emerald boas. You're going to want to show them a picture. If you're in our community, you'll have the pictures right here. You can get some books as well, and you're going to read them some facts about it to kind of get them going, right? So this is actual straight on life science. And then you're going to, following the directions in the pack, you're going to start to cut out the spiral. Let me switch to the top.
Okay. All right, we'll back up for our YouTube friends so you can see what we're doing. So I'm just cutting around the spiral and honestly not even quite perfectly. It doesn't really matter. Just cutting around. And what I would have done with my child before doing this cutting work is have them color it somehow. So when I was in the classroom, we would print these on green colored paper. So that's a trick that you can use. What we encouraged our members to do, however, is to have their child go ahead and watercolor it or use markers or whatever to decorate it and color it in whatever way they like. If you want to do a realistic, but you're going to show them the emerald tree boa picture first.
Yeah, and you're going to have, in this pack, we have 2 sizes. We have one to represent the juvenile, so it's slightly smaller, but not too small, so it's still doable by a little hand. And then a larger one to represent the adult. And then there's also some shapes here that represent the heads that you can tape on. But yeah, so you might look at a picture, or for our cover art for this month, we did an illustration of an emerald tree boa, so they might look at a drawing, they might look at a real picture, and then, have fun, like watercolor, pencil, whatever they want to do to bring the snake to life.
Yes, so we also have these little heads, and we have a larger head template and a smaller head template. I'll show them here as well. So I'll go ahead and cut this out, and you can kind of get an idea of what it'll look like. I'm not going to glue them today or decorate them today, but you'll get an idea. And they're really easy to make. You can do this with just, a marker at home and some green construction paper, and you're good to go.
You could take this and use it as a template and trace it onto a cereal box, and then you could trace a bunch of them.
Could. Yep. That is probably, excuse me. Ooh, I thought I was going to sneeze. Okay. Sneeze accomplished. All right. You probably can't, you never know what's going to happen on a power hour. I swear I was fine an hour ago. All right. So,
Easy hour.
it's the sneezy hour. All right, so we've got this little head, and you can attach it to your snake with the Montessori gluing strategy with a little paintbrush that you use for glue.
And we also have a video on that in our archive if you want to go back and check it out.
There is. And this is actually the fun part. The super fun part is there are two things you really can that I would recommend you do with these snakes. We are encouraging our members to decorate their homes with them if they're studying coil.
Kind of spring.
Yeah, if they're doing the study with us. But what I had written in here was to find a branch, because the emerald tree boa really does like wrap themselves around a branch. And so do you see that piece of wood? Ooh. I love this. We found this as a piece of driftwood that we found it at the beach. And I love it especially because it looks to me like a whale. Do you see the whale? I don't know if, yeah, you've got us on top down. Can you guys see that? Doesn't that just look like a whale? I just love it so much. So you're going to take a stick that you found in nature. Go ahead and hold that.
Yes.
And then let's pretend like this little head.
I am the tree.
And then you can wrap your tree boa around your stick.
Isn't that fun?
How fun is that? So we have been getting a whole lot of pictures in from members who are doing this activity and have made some really fun displays, with snakes. You could also, if you wanted to, take the snake tail part and put a string on it and hang it from your ceiling. I used to do this when I was teaching snakes to the kids in the kindergarten class.
Yeah, yeah.
We would hang the little snakes from the ceilings so that they were kind of spiraled around. We did this with our kids at home as well.
We actually made a little tree out of paper in their room, remember? Like a jungly tree. And
I do. So cute. So it's a really easy and fun craft. You can find it inside Coil if you would like the templates to go along with it, or you can just make it yourself at home with your kids.
But if you would like these templates, if you're in the community, go grab it. You should already have a copy. If you're not a member and you'd like to try it out, this is the theme of the month. So if you join the free trial, you can download a copy of Coil today and try it out, plus all the other activities in there to get a sense of what thematic learning can do for you. And to kind of tie back to our first segment, so this would be the lesson that you give. And then you would make this available, the template, maybe on the cereal box, or you've printed out extra copies or whatever, you've put them on a tray, and you've made that available to your child. So during the independent work time, if they are inspired by it, they can go and make more little snakies. And maybe you've got some books around there. We always recommend books in our packs. So maybe you've checked out some of those books from the library and they're looking at the pictures of the snakes, and that's their independent work, right? And that is how you want to put these kind of ideas to work. You've introduced the concept. It's got a lot of core concepts built into it, including life science, practical life, and art. And then you're making it available to the child to go and have fun with. And if they don't find it intriguing at that moment, fine, you're going to move on. There's lots of other lessons to give them. And I guarantee, in fact, that if they don't find it exciting the first time you give it, it's going to come back. It always does.
Yes.
It always just lodges in the mind. And maybe they were like Mr. Bunny, a little bit afraid of snakes, and they weren't quite ready for to make little paper snakes, or maybe it just didn't tickle the fancy at the moment. We never know. But you gave the lesson, and they'll be ready for it when they're ready for it. And that's
right.
what matters.
The absorbent mind is always at work. No matter what lesson you're giving, it's going to have some kind of impact.
That's right.